We did it! Got to the end of the game during Resident Evil 25 week. I'm so excited. To recap, I started off with the PS1 game. Probably played it a little bit when I was a kid. I don't really remember. I remember I played some of the Resident Evil games. It's kind of a blur what they were. I finally played Resident Evil 1 on PS1 via the PS3's backwards compatible catalog on my PS Vita, in fact, at the time. Finally, about 4 or 5 years ago, that was the first time I'd ever played fully through the game. This is my first time ever playing fully through the remaster. I love the changes they made to the remaster. I think there were so many smart upgrades they did to an already great game. I love the zombies coming back faster and meaner than they were before. That adds a whole new layer of horror to the game. Just when you start to get comfortable with the layout of the mansion and everything, that's when they throw that little curveball at you. I can't really remember a lot of the other changes, but I'd say just the graphical improvements. The game feels better than it did on the PS1. I can't remember fully what differences in control mechanics are, but it definitely feels better here. Just the basic game, PS1 version, the remake, whatever, it doesn't matter. I think it's an excellent game. It makes me realize that I love this kind of fusion of an adventure game, like an old school adventure game, because it has a lot of seeds in that adventure game category, but coupled with a little bit of action, a little bit of horror, I think it makes for an excellent game. There's so
Jill,
much
you
about
did a fine job.
the tank controls that I think don't stand the test of time, and that's why the remake is good, because it updates some of that. And I'll say, even for the update, or even for the remake, I tried to play this game 2 or 3 times in the past. I turned it on. I started exploring the mansion. It felt a little slow. I came across a zombie, and I put a couple of shots into it, and I started to run out of ammo, and I started to get bored of the situation, or not bored, but um, my point, what I'm trying to get across is I think it's a slow starter of a game, and I think the old school control method takes some getting used to from a modern perspective. And that's how it was when I played the PS1 version on the PS Vita as well. But after you get 2, 3 hours into it, and you really are used to the flow of the game and just everything about the puzzle solving, the exploration, the horror, I'd say playing with my headset increased the enjoyment of the game immensely, because I heard all these spooky things around. I'm so sad. I'm looking at the screen now and I see that I killed 99 creatures. I couldn't kill 100. I was one away. Ugh. Um, but anyway, I think Resident Evil has some signs of age. I think it takes a while to get into. I think there's plenty wrong with the story, although the tone and the mood and the moment to moment storytelling is excellent. But say the voice work or the actual plot of whatever the hell Wesker did at the end, it doesn't matter. Completely over my head. I don't care. But so I'd say those flaws aside, I think this still holds up. If I was to rate it, it'd probably be like a 4.5 out of 5, something like that. It still holds up. I think is one of the better games I've ever played, and it goes in my own personal Hall of Fame if I were to create one. So yeah, this is absolutely a stellar game. But despite all the small issues that add up a little bit, despite the fact that it takes a while to get into the game, despite the fact that there's some modern issues, I loved it. I really just loved my time with it. Jill has a new costume. You got a closet key. I may go back if I have time in future weeks, and I may play back over. Maybe I'll do a crisp playthrough this time with less inventory spots. Because this is one thing, is that um, as much as the lack of bullets at the beginning of the game kind of put me off and was one of the reasons that I would drop this game when I first started playing it, a year or two ago. Um, I think as the game went on my normal difficulty setting that I was playing on, uh, I really stopped being scared at a certain point, and I stopped yeah, like I said, being scared. I stopped running out of resources, and the scarcity of resources is important to the game. Playing through this, I truly felt that when I was too powerful, when I was too armored up or armed up, I guess, that it was a less enjoyable experience. So I would like to go through on hard difficulty with Chris's only 6 inventory spots instead of Jill's 8. I think that'll make it an even better game than what I just played. But overall, fantastic game. Happy 25th anniversary to Resident Evil.